So...
Morning.
Good morning, Minister.
Look, this department was once great. It was a superb ministry in the days of Churchill, in the days of Thatcher. But now it's gone mad along with the rest of the world. All this woke culture, all this lefty rewriting of our history. Now they're going for Henry VIII, one of our greatest monarchs. Probably the only one that everybody's heard of. OK, they've only heard of him because he had 6 wives and he didn't treat them terribly well. The point is that we cannot afford to lose somebody of that order of magnitude from our history, and so something's got to be done.
Well, when you say done, I mean, surely what's done is done.
Oh. Look, I do understand that you have just got used to standing around being useless. But this now calls for action. And what you're going to do is you're going to go right back into our nation's history and you are going to find me evidence, compelling evidence, which will enable us completely to rebrand the image of Henry VIII. So that's your job, and oh, I want it done. Now, get on with it, because my salsa class is waiting.
That's a mad ask. Rebrand one of the most notorious bastards in history. But what angle do we go at? Because...
The historical angle.
I mean, yeah.
The historical angle.
Yeah.
We were wondering, it seems to be tilling the ground for a rebranding of Henry VIII to make him not the tyrant, to make him, you know, so...
A relatable figure, I think. Like more of a, oh, you were hard done by, and I see why you did what you did. Would you think that would be something that would be approachable?
Not really. I mean, I don't think you can slide over the many examples of brutality.
If we did, would it then be approachable?
Just hypothetically.
Hypothetically.
Some people see him as a monster. I mean, people have talked about him man or monster.
Historians.
Yes.
I think in much more public discourse, I would say politically he was utterly ruthless. And
ruthless in a good way or a bad way?
We decided to target the most high-profile person that was wronged by Henry VIII, and we deemed this, us noble two, deemed that to be Anne Boleyn, who was wronged and executed under false allegations of treason, incest, and also infidelity. So we felt that if we could overturn such an egregious opinion that he completely screwed Anne over effectively, if we could turn that over, then we could turn over the rest of the opinions about Henry.
Blood everywhere, but I can feel it here. I've just had something come right up to the side of my head here.
All right.
She feels more noble.
She feels more noble?
Yeah.
Does she know Anne Boleyn?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Yeah, she does.
So what relationship does she have with Anne Boleyn?
Gosh, I think sister.
Sister? Is it Mary?
I'm getting, yes, Mary.
And what is Mary Boleyn thinking about her sister stealing her boyfriend?
She doesn't believe it happened.
Did it happen?
What you mean, what didn't happen?
She was just set up with him to breed. The words that I'm associating with the way that this was working was Diana and Charles.
Except it's the other way round, because Henry VIII was very passionate,
And she was just
about about Anne Boleyn.
I know that's changing history. I don't mean to do.
No, I don't think
this is what I'm getting.
I don't think it is changing history, so that's not a problem.
I took that the combination of historical fact versus spiritual intervention being a very useful form of investigation.
Hungarians, they have real trouble wearing shoes. Have you ever seen a Hungarian try to wear shoes? They wear boots so much, they put the shoes on, they just keep falling over.
That's very funny. That's really, really funny. Superb.
My first impressions of Stephen Gunn was, wow.
Well, bit of a lad, didn't mind spending time with the ladies.
So what you're saying is Henry VIII was a bit of a lad?
I think some people would regard him as a bit of a lad, yes.
Because I know there was a guy, bloke Henry Norris, who was accused of like having an affair with Anne. I'm sorry.
This is your thinking hand, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
If you don't do this, you can't think.
No.
Would there be a way that you know of that we could get in touch with Henry Norris to ask him and maybe him flirt with us so we know how Anne felt?
Only by psychic means, but they're not things of which I have really any expertise.
To me, I don't know if anybody else is feeling this, but I'm feeling like the chair is vibrating underneath me.
Yeah, feeling absolutely freezing and my legs are tingling.
Okay. There, I'm hearing it now.
You getting it on a spiritual level?
I don't know, but I'm hearing it. Just bear with me. There, I'm hearing it now. There. It's like a. Could you make that a little bit louder for me, please, so everybody can hear what you're doing?
What did you hear?
Did you not hear that?
No.
Did you not hear that? Okay. It was. I don't know. Explain it. What it was sounded like. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you try and work with me with things I can understand? Thank you, darling. I know it's an upsetting time, sweetheart. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, sweetheart, thank you. Just step away from the device for me, darling. Thank you, darling. You need to... I know. Step away from it for me. Thank you, sweetie. Just move towards me and it'll come. You'll move away. That's it. Move away. Move towards me, darling. Okay.
Just go for the lights.
I know you like the lights. I know you like them. I like the pretty lights too.
It kind of gave us a more surefire 79% that we were going in the slightly wrong direction but slightly right direction when it came to a rebrand of Henry VIII. But yeah, it was very interesting, very convincing, and overall unnerving.
King Henry VIII would often dress up in disguise and burst into the Queen's bedchamber dressed as Robin Hood.
Dr. Owen was a sort of expert in this area, and he was very informative about being there, and yeah, as far as I can remember.
The reason that we are here in this building today is because it is associated with Henry Norris, another Henry. Is that because they had a surefire affair, or is it because it was something that was alleged?
Definitely an alleged affair. In the trial documents, the indictment that was written up against Anne and the accused, we can study that quite carefully, and we can map the dates that the...
Well, you keep saying we, but have you studied them carefully?
Yes, I have.
I mean, I'm not going to do it.
I would never.
Why are you obsessed with Anne Boleyn?
She was a knight's daughter who became Queen of England, and she...
So she was a daughter of the knight?
She was a knight's daughter, yes.
Well, what's the difference?
So a knight's daughter is a daughter of someone who has been knighted, and a daughter of the knight sounds like a prostitute.
So, Anne and Henry Norris, when did they have sex?
They never had sex, as far as we're aware.
Are you absolutely certain of this?
Yes.
Are you 100% certain?
I'm as certain as I possibly can be.
And what percentage would you give this?
I would give it 99.9.
So, 0.1, is that what's left?
Yes.
Yeah.
0.1.
0.1% could be the opposite.
It's not out of the realm of possibility, because...
So if you're 99.9% sure that they didn't have sex, what is the provenance of your 0.1% doubt?
What I'm trying to establish is that when the sexual intercourse was supposed to have happened at Hampton Court,
right,
in 1534,
right,
unfortunately for those accusing Henry Norris and Anne was actually at Greenwich Palace at the time.
What if we could kind of prove that wrong and get you in touch with someone who had a first-hand account, i.e. Henry Norris?
I think that would be highly unlikely.
But what if we could?
Is it possible for you to ask Henry Norris about that?
What, about the affair?
Yeah.
What I'm hearing now was he was more in love with her than what she was in love with him.
But did they have sex?
Yes.
What do you think of that, Owen?
It's interesting.
It was very interesting to me when David said in front of Dr. Owen that it was almost a mathematical, scientific and spiritual certainty that Anne had engaged in relations with Henry Norris, as there is no actual historical backing.
There's a male outside there, somewhere outside there, has just basically fallen over dead.
Fallen over dead? Is there any reports of that happening, kind of historically, here at the Abbey?
People dying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I should think quite a few people died.
Here?
Just keeled over?
Yeah, it's not an uncommon thing for humans to do.
And I know that because I've died.
You have died?
I have died 3 times.
3 times. How many times have you died?
None yet.
None yet.
Could you give a huge big psychic yell and see if you can get Henry and Anne back? And maybe I could help you. We could gather forces and we could just go, you know, like we're hailing a taxi, oi, like that, you know, and they might come back.
Because they've got a connection, do you want to try? Do you want to, by all means, do you want to try and help someone?
That makes no difference where you stand, but yeah.
No, so let's give it a go.
Why don't we try that?
Okay. Just want to come over here.
Well, I count 3, 2, 1.
Do we shout anything in particular?
I mean, we don't literally shout.
Oh, we're not?
We're doing a big...
Do a mind shout.
Okay. A mind shout. All right, ready?
Do you know that your thoughts are words for them over there? Do you know that? Let me tell you.
Well, I know it now.
You know it now, and that's an absolute fact.
What are you thinking of, Owen?
You don't have to speak out loud for them to hear you.
I'm
so
trying to participate.
Okay.
Right, you ready?
Yeah.
Ready, gang?
Can we have a countdown, David?
3, 2, 1.
Oop.
Anything happen?
No, I don't know what Henry VIII looked like, but was he quite a large bloke?
You don't know what Henry VIII looks like?
No, I don't know what.
Or Henry Norris, do you mean?
Henry Norris? We're shouting for Henry Norris and Anne Boleyn to come back because they've gone off to Lidl or something.
Right. I didn't shout for them.
During that particular calling out at the Abbey, we didn't find much success at all.
So, yes, in Abington we had David, it was one of our mediums, and Spectrum Paranormal, that was Hazel and Dean. They had brought some technology with them.
Right, okay, so what we have here is a device called the Spirit Box. You have two versions, the SB7 and the SB11.
What does SB stand for?
Spirit Box.
Oh.
I'm sorry, yeah. And it's believed that spirit can vocalise.
How much of a success do you have?
We've had a lot of successes. We were in Kensal Green Cemetery recently. I just turned around and said, you know, so you say goodbye, and then you heard goodbye come through the device.
Can you fire it up then?
I can fire it up. And scanning. And this is where we take the opportunity to call out, which you can do, David. If you wish, you can call out again. See if you can try and make contact with spirit.
Hello again. My name is Dave.
Sound like hello.
That sounded like a hello.
Can we have a little chat as friends? Can you make contact with us in some way? Lovely. Can you do that again? Thank you. It's lovely to hear you. You're trying very hard. Are you with friends over there? Are you with Amber Lynn over there? Is Henry Norris there? Henry Norris, it would be nice if we could hear from you. Just a simple word of yes, no. We like to know that you are happy over there. We would like to know, do you have your heart's desire over there? Are you working over there?
He was game, as far as I could tell, and we haven't received a letter of complaint or anything, or he hasn't, you know, doxed me or anything. So, yeah, that was a success. Is David in a trance?
I can't answer that question.
David, are you in a trance?
I think David's trying to communicate.
I think David... Can you speak to us, David?
Can you hear us?
Has something happened, David?
Are you moving yourself or being moved?
I mean, is he okay? Hmm?
Are you writing?
Do you need a pen?
We're going to put a pen in your hand, and we're going to put paper underneath. Well, I'm going to take a stab in the dark and say that that is the Tower of London.
Is that the Tower of London?
What do you think, Owen?
He nodded.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like it before.
Not even like the Tower of London?
I meant more the medium of conveyance rather than the building.
Just worried that
he doesn't sort of naturally come out of it.
Okay.
We can ask for it to leave. We can maybe ask for it to...
Would you mind leaving now so we can have David back?
Owen, could you maybe speak with David?
Can you hear me, David? Who am I speaking to?
Hello.
Hello.
You're right, David.
Oh, my back is burning. Oh.
Do you mind sharing your experience with us, David? What happened when you were taken over or you left us? Just seeing if there's anything legible and maybe we can make sense of. Okay, so I'd like to just show the camera David's writings. Zoom in on that, which would be this portion, these two portions here. What was you actually feeling? What took over your vessel?
No, I didn't feel anything at all.
Is that something that you would recognise historically?
From a paleography point of view,
Meaning?
so from a handwriting and translating point of view, that very much looks like an H to me, followed by an E. Just here.
When David went into his trance and wrote looked to be potentially the signature of Henry VIII, my first thought initially was either Henry or David has quite bad handwriting, but then it could have been unclear, the connection could have been unstable between them, and it's perfectly possible that could have been the case.
Let's compare. Yeah. Let's compare.
So I'll show the
camera.
The camera.
Let's have that. Oh, that's interesting.
So can you see that? Henry VIII signature.
Oh, they're certainly the same scribbles.
Can I ask Dr. Rowan, comparing the two signatures, how similar do you think this is to what Dean Googled?
I would say it's almost like a ghost of the signature, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
You know, we're kind of 20% there. Or
fantastic.
At the moment we're 20%, and if we find more signatures later on down the line, we could ramp that up maybe to
That's great.
60.
Listen, thanks, folks. I think we could all do with a nice cup of tea now.
I think so.
Right, now, I hope that you've managed to rebrand Henry VIII. Tell me all about it.
We can 83% guarantee full rebranding of Henry within the next...
Right, okay, well done, that's excellent. Now, I've got another mission for you. The Woke Brigade have just decided that they are going to completely rewrite Jane Austen. They think that she portrays women as too feminine, too dependent, you know, thinking of nothing else except who they're going to marry. And they want to reverse that completely. And so they want to come up with a version of Pride and Prejudice in which it's Elizabeth who's earning all the money and Darcy who's sitting on the sofa looking pretty. It must not be allowed to happen.
Who's Jane Austen?
Really?